The next phylum, Annelida. In Latin, annulus means little ring, oida means form. These are the segmented worms these are. Coming to their characteristic feature, like Platyhelminthes and Aschelminthes members, these are also triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical with organ system level of organization. Apart from this, the point which you should add here it is metamerically segmented organisms these are. The body is divided into segments. They are metamerically segmented and these are coelomates. You know well, the first true coelomates are annelids. Annelida phylum possess the true coelom. If you talk about Platyhelminthes, they possess acoelom, no coelom in them, and in Aschelminthes, they have pseudocoelom. And you know the true coelom is the one which is derived from mesoderm and it should be lined with mesodermal linings. So these are the first true coelomates. So triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical with organ system level of organization and metamerical segmented bodies, that is, and the next is their true coelomates. Coming to their habitat, there may be aquatic, some are aquatic organisms are there like nereis, and some are terrestrial forms. Some animals of annelidans like nereis and leeches, they are aquatic and some are terrestrial forms. So aquatic and terrestrial, and some are free living and some are parasitic. And leeches are the good example for parasitic forms. And free living earthworms. Earthworms are free living, the good example you can take, and leeches are the parasitic organisms which are the blood sucking parasites they are. Coming to their body, the body surface contains many segments. The body is divided into segments like little rings. They are also called as metameres. The body is divided both externally and internally into the regions, we'll call it as a segments or metameres. That is the body division. Coming to the body wall here, the body wall contains the two muscles, longitudinal and the circular muscles, and the muscles of this body wall, both longitudinal and circular, helpful for locomotion. The body wall is muscular with both muscles of longitudinal and circular, helpful for locomotion. And coming to the nereis, as I said, it is an aquatic form, and in the nereis, they have the structures, the lateral appendages. These are called as parapodia. The one in the picture which I am showing here is parapodia. And these parapodia, the lateral appendages, they are helpful for swimming. As it is an aquatic form, the parapodia serves in the locomotion, I mean in the swimming phenomenon. And apart from this, parapodia also helpful for the exchange of gases too. Though it's not there, you can also consider it as also helpful for the exchange of gases. Coming to the circulatory system, they have a closed type of circulatory system they have. Circulatory system is evolved for the first time in the phylum Annelida, and that too they have closed type of circulatory system. But there is an assumption is there, like in leeches, they have open type of circulatory system. Leeches have open type. Apart from this leeches, everyone is having the closed type of circulatory system. And coming to their excretory organs, nephridia are the excretory organs in the members of Annelida, and as usual, they are involved in both osmoregulation and excretion. After excretory system, moving on to the neural system of the Annelida members. Neural system consists of a paired ganglia, the lateral nerves and the double ventral nerve cord. For your better understanding, I went with a picture of an earthworm showing here the ganglia, a paired ganglia located on the dorsal side, on the ventral side, above and below the gut part. These ganglia mane plural, ganglion is a singular. The paired ganglia of dorsal and ventral side, means above the gut and below the gut, are connected by the connectives or lateral nerves. Along with that, the neural system consists of the double ventral nerve cord. In the members of non-chordates, I mean the invertebrates, the nerve cord in the non-chordata are the double and they are located on the ventral side. Whereas in the chordata members, they have a single located on the dorsal side. This is one of the basic difference between the non-chordates and the chordates. So this is about the neural system, the paired ganglions connected by the lateral nerves, that is connectives, and the double ventral nerve cord. Even they possess the sense organs in the members of Annelida. As they are bilaterally symmetrical animals, in these bilaterally symmetrical animals is associated with cephalization. A distinct head-like structure will be seen from the members of Annelida. So, even the sense organs also you will come across in that anterior part, the cephalic part of these members of even annelids. Coming to their reproductive part, Nereis, the aquatic form which is dioecious. You know, dioecious are the members which are unisexual. They are of unisexual members. The Nereis which are dioecious means their sexes are separate. There is a male and the female organisms are present. And coming to the earthworm and leeches, earthworm and leeches are monoecious, hermaphrodites. They are of bisexual. Both the male and the female reproductive organs are located in the same body. Same organism possess both male and the female reproductive organs. And coming to their mode of reproduction, the reproduction is sexual mode of reproduction. They reproduce sexually. And coming to their development, though it's not mentioned over here, the development in the members of Nereis, like in the members of unisexual members, is an indirect development. The development is indirect. It passes through the larval stage. Whereas in the members of this earthworm and leeches, in the dioecious it is indirect, whereas in monoecious it is direct without the larval stage. It is one of the previous NEET question asking among which of the following organisms the development doesn't passes through the larval stage. Means no larva is seen in their development. Among that, earthworm is the answer, which in earthworm the development doesn't possess larval stage. It's direct. An example, Nereis. Nereis is a sandworm, I told you, is an aquatic organism with a parapodia, helpful in locomotion and all. And Ferritima, earthworm. And the Hirudinaria, the blood-sucking leeches. As we said, leeches are the blood-sucking sanguivorous. These are the parasites which sucks the blood of the host. The next phyla, Arthropoda. Arthro means joints, poda means appendages. These are the animals with jointed appendages. Arthropoda is the largest phyla in the kingdom Animalia or Metazoa. In that, the largest class is Insecta, which also belongs to the phylum Arthropoda. Around 7,50,000 species of insects are there. And coming to the arthropodan members, almost out of 10 animals, 8 animals belongs to the phylum Arthropoda. 2/3 of the named animals belong to the phylum Arthropoda. You know well, there are around 1.7 million species are there, but according to Robert May, it is 7 million species. Out of all these, thought to be it is 2 to 100 million species. Whatever this numerical magic, almost more than 1.6 million species have been named. Among those millions of species which have named, 2/3 of the animals belong to the phylum Arthropoda with jointed appendages. These are. Moving on to their other characteristic property, the body is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. And I hope that you should take some of the points as taken into granted from the Platyhelminthes. Only the Platyhelminthes is deviating with organ level of organization. From Aschelminthes onwards, it is with organic system level of organization. All are triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical. So, every time I don't need to mention that point, you should take into granted from the phylum, the Aschelminthes onwards. Even Platyhelminthes also triploblastic, but it is with organ level of organization. But from Aschelminthes, the Annelida, Arthropoda and up to chordata, they have organic system level of organization. So, triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, organic system level of organization. Yeah, organic system level of organization. And the very next, these are also the coelomates, which are the true coelomates like Annelida members. Body is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. Chitin, you know, the hardest one, here it is. This chitin, the polysaccharide, which is a very hard substance, this protects the animals, preventing from dehydration. So this is also one of the factor which made the arthropods to lead a successful life, to dominate in their numbers. And coming to their body division, the body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. You will be better understood when we will step into the detailed account of cockroach as a type study where we will take the example for arthropoda members. So coming to this respiratory organs, as it is the largest phylum in the kingdom Animalia, so we can see a lot of diversified respiratory organs in these members. Somehow gills, obviously gills are present in aquatic organisms like prawn, crabs, example for this. Book gills are the respiratory organs in the members of the one like limulus. You know, limulus is a king crab or horseshoe crab. In them the respiratory organs are the book gills. Coming to the book lungs, scorpion have book lungs. In scorpion the respiratory organs are the book lungs. Coming to trachea, if they'll question you in general also, the animals with which are the respiratory organs or which type of respiration is seen in most of the animals, you can take it as a trachea. The respiration is tracheal respiration. Why? The reason for this is insects. Insects possess the trachea as their respiratory organs. Not only the insects, some other group of the members of arthropodans also have the trachea as their respiratory organ. So as insects is the largest representative of the kingdom Animalia, so tracheal system of respiration is the type of respiration seen in majority of animals. So this is in the neat point of view. If they'll ask you in general, so that is the tracheal system of respiration is the major type of respiration in animals, because insects are contributing for this. So this is about the respiration. Coming to their type of circulatory system, the type of circulatory system in the members of arthropoda is open type of circulatory system. It is an open type. You know well what is open type. The blood, the body fluid flows both in the closed circuit, that is vessels, and also in the open spaces called as sinuses. Coming to the sensory organs of the phylum Arthropoda, as these are also the triploblastic bilaterally symmetrical animals. As I said in the earlier phyla, the Annelida, in the triploblastic bilaterally symmetrical animals, the anterior part is specialized to form a head region, and that head is accommodated with the sense organs. When compared to the phylum Annelida, the arthropodans' head is more pronounced. A distinct head is seen in them. As we discussed earlier, the body is divided into the head, thorax and abdomen. So the head part of these phylum arthropodan members, they have the antennae, which are the sensory organs. They can sense their surrounding environment with the help of antennae. And coming to the next sensory organs like eyes, they have a simple eyes and compound eyes. Compound eyes have many units. Like if you talk about like cockroach, in one compound eye there are around 2000 units of the photoreceptor units are present. Simple eyes, as usual, as we are referring them as simple, they contain only one unit. So eyes, either simple or compound eyes. Moving on to the next, that is statocysts. Statocysts are the balancing organs. Mainly these are present in the aquatic organisms in order to balance their body. So simple eyes, compound eyes, the statocysts. and the antennae are the sensory organs of the members of this phylum Arthropoda. So comparative to Annelida, the sensory organs and this, obviously when you move on from the lower to the higher end, the advancement will be seen in many features. So comparative to Annelida, obviously the arthropodans will take the edge, they are highly evolved. Coming to their excretory organs, they have Malpighian tubules. Though in the NCERT they had given they have only Malpighian tubules, but there are several other excretory organs are also seen in the other members of arthropodans, like maybe the coxal glands, the green glands. But as you take the Malpighian tubules, these are the excretory organs in the major representative class, that is insecta. In insects, the excretory organs are Malpighian tubules. So that is about, in general, if they'll question you, as I said in the respiration, majority of animals respires through trachea, because insects have the tracheal system. Majority of animals excrete through Malpighian tubules. Not even needed in order to express that specificity. In general, if they'll question also, that is taken into granted, that is about respiration or excretion. I mean, there the tracheal system, here the Malpighian tubules. Coming to their reproduction, mostly dioecious. Guys, you want to focus on the these words like mostly, generally, all, because majority of the questions in the animal kingdom, as so many phyla are there, you can expect either the match the following questions or multiple conceptual questions. So you need to be very particular in this aspect. So as we said that here, they're mostly dioecious. Obviously, you know well, dioecious meaning they are unisexual, sexes are separate. And coming to their fertilization, that is internal fertilization. Okay, so as you move on to the higher grade of phyla, obviously, mostly you'll come across the fertilizations are internal. And coming to their mode of reproduction, how they reproduce, okay, sexual reproduction, no doubt in that. And coming to that, they are mostly oviparous, they are internal fertilization and mostly oviparous. You know what is oviparous? Egg-laying animals. So as we are saying mostly, so maybe some other are viviparous. The good example for viviparous arthropodan is scorpion. Scorpion give birth to young ones, it won't lay eggs. So mostly oviparous, but exemptions are there. So focus on the one which are exclusively, for example, as we discussed earlier, Ctenophora members are exclusively marine. And if you talk about they reproduce exclusively, I mean they reproduce only by sexual mode of reproduction. In the same scenario here, the reproduction in them is the mode of the how they'll give birth or else the lay eggs. They are mostly oviparous, egg-laying animals. Moving on to their development. In some is direct, means no larval stages, and in some it is indirect mode of development is seen without any larval stages. Is direct with larval stages, we'll call it as indirect. Okay. Coming to the examples of this phylum Arthropoda, there are economically important organisms are there in this, like Apis, Apis indica, Apis mellifera. It is a scientific name of honeybee. You know well, honey is extracted, which is an economically important product which is used in the preparation of jams, jellies, cakes. So honey, even it's used as a product for beauty. So here Apis, the honeybee, is the economically important insect. Coming to the bombyx, you know bombyx. Bombyx is the one here is a silk moth, Bombyx mori. The silk is extracted and which will use in this textile industry like silk sarees and all. So that is bombyx. Laxifer, it is a lac insect. And lac is used in the preparation of so many things like toys or buttons and all is here. So this is about some of the economically important insects belonging to the phylum Arthropoda. Moving on to the next example, the vector. What is actually the vector? Vectors are this word is applicable for insects. These are the insects which carry the disease causing organism from one place to other place, or it transmits from one individual to the other individual, from one organism to the other organism. If you go with examples, well, Anopheles is going to spread malaria. These are the vectors which carry the Plasmodium vivax from one to the other. So, Anopheles is a vector for malarial parasite. Culex. Culex is also the mosquito which spreads filaria. Malaria, Anopheles, Culex, filaria. Filaria is also spread by the vector by the name of this mosquito Culex. Aedes. Aedes aegypti is going to spread in the sense is going to transmit the disease from one with the other, is going to responsible for this is dengue fever. Dengue fever is transmitted through this Aedes. It's not caused. You must be a little bit cautious over here. They are not going the causing. Malaria is not caused by Anopheles. It's spread by Anopheles. It's transmitted by Anopheles. In the same way, Culex spreads filaria and Aedes spreads transmits the dengue fever. Coming to the gregarious pest, that is Locusta. Gregarious means which lives in groups. Actually, this year, maybe this year in the beginning of this, you come across in your electronic and the print medias about this insect. Maybe those farmers and even the government of the concerned countries and also the states, they're much bothered about this locust because they'll attack in the groups and which are going to damage the crop field. They'll come in the groups and they're going to spoil the crop field. So gregarious pest, so which we come across in Pakistan, they attacked even in some of our North Indian states also. Crop fields are damaged by this gregarious pest Locusta. And one more thing, in this NEET 2020 also, they mentioned, they asked about, here it is. So, whenever this present scenarios is happening, there is a likely to happen linked questions in your NEET. Coming to the next, living fossil, that is Limulus. What is living fossil actually? The animal which remain unchanged over millions of years. Unchanged means though a little bit changes are there which are negligible from their origin, yet now they didn't modify. There is no such things you can consider that considerable morphological or any changes happen. No. So which remain unchanged over millions of years from their origin. Hence we'll call it as a living fossil. Limulus is a best example. I mentioned the Limulus. They have a book gills as their respiratory organs. So, living fossil is a Limulus. So, these are the examples and their common names. This is about the phylum Arthropoda.